Yeah, I guess I was wrong about the the Simpsons prediction, but no, see what they didn't expect was that you know public enemy number one, heterosexual black men, would be would show true grit and not kowtow to the women of our community that wagged their fingers and said, "Go vote for Kamala Harris because she's a black woman," even though they expected us to choose black when it was the election. But when it was time for her to procreate, or at least more, she didn't procreate, but marry, did she choose black? I mean, I'm not too sure if she did or not. I don't think she did. But, I'm really proud of the foundational black Americans. And when I use the term foundational black Americans or freedmen, I'm referring to black people whose slave lineage goes back to the slave plantations of the Deep South, period. If you're an immigrant whose slavery is from another country, we ain't rocking with you, and we don't want you rocking with us. We don't want you locking arms with us. And I'm also glad that the lady Jill Stein, she's a white liberal Green Party candidate who is for reparations, but she doesn't know that it's supposed to be lineage based, and she's also her running mate is a Muslim dude, biracial Muslim dude who supports LGBT, and he's got a Mexican wife. He's already used trick language like marginalized communities, people of color, anything that doesn't say black traditionally, as we're talking about what foundational black Americans are. Also, freedman is a term. Freed, man, freed man. Like that's what you were. After slavery in 1865, you became a freed man. So when I refer to the freedmen or foundational black Americans, that's what I'm talking about. Your slave roots go back to the Deep South. And the Democrats cannot win an election without 90% of the black vote, and a good portion of that is black men. And it only takes they say they got to have 90% of the vote to win. It only takes about 10 to 15% of us to just stay home, which is obviously what a lot of us did because she didn't win. And notice how she didn't come out and address her people. She's a sore loser. Like she eventually, at first, okay, I think eventually Nancy Pelosi is going to catch the most for this. Then, it's going to go down the line. Joe Biden's going to say, "Why'd you put me out the race? I could have won." George Clooney is going to lose credibility because he's the one who leaded the coup to get him ousted. Kamala Harris she's done politically. Nobody wanted her in this election. Nobody wanted her when she ran for office back in 2020. Remember that? Her campaign got shut down before the pandemic. I remember when I was actually in DC when she announced that her campaign was going to end, and that was December of 19. And I remember I went to the White House and put my phone up to the White House and did about a minute video praising the fact that she lost the race, or she dropped out of the race. So, and there was no nomination for her to get this presidential nominee, because if you remember correctly, as soon as Biden was ousted, they just nominated her. Barack Obama wanted to have an open candidate, open primary to select somebody, but Joe Biden was smart because he came right out and endorsed her, so that they had to run her, and he knew how weak of a candidate she was. Joe Biden helped her lose this campaign. He really did. But it's going to be interesting. Now, don't think that I'm over here celebrating and think that we got new resurrection in Trump. We don't. I mean, it's only going to be a matter of time before we start, which is what we should have done already. We should have said to him, "What are you going to do for us?" to determine whether we were going to vote for him or sit on the couch. Because I want to say I'm naive to believe that he's going to do something about these migrants. And when he doesn't, we're not going to vote for him no more. Or we're going to eventually, it's going to come to him, "Hey, what are you going to do for black people?" And when he says, or when he talks around it and says nothing, he's out of there. But at least Trump gives us a conversation. Ronald Reagan, if you're old enough to remember, Ronald Reagan did not talk to black people. George Bush 1 or 2 did not talk to black people. They did not go into barbershops, talk about what y'all need, what's on your mind. He didn't do that. Now, is it a publicity stunt? Could be. But Ronald Reagan and them never did no publicity stunts. They were not concerned about getting the black vote at all. They weren't concerned about it. Now it's up for grabs, but it's only up for grabs for people that are going to do something foundationally for us. Listen, like I told y'all, I've been talking to a lot of people during this election. And in my job, in my travels, I end up picking up this Jamaican immigrant. I pick her up from Walmart. She's got a cart full of groceries. And I drop her off in a neighborhood that's notorious for Section 8. So basically, she's over here getting free benefits. And I asked her who she was going to vote for. She ain't even going to vote. See, now here it is. You got somebody coming over here getting things given to them for free, but they still don't have the gumption to get off their you-know-what and vote. And upon further talking to her, she doesn't think we're owed reparations. She doesn't think that we built a country that allowed her to want to come to it. And also, you got to ask yourself this too. All these immigrants coming over here, what did you build in your homeland to where you can come here and build something? The Haitians don't build anything. The Jamaicans, they might open a couple restaurants, but they don't really build nothing. There's not a fleet of lawyers that come from Jamaica that do pro bono cases for black people who get unjustly done by the judicial system, and they need for someone to fight for them, to advocate for them. There's not a Jamaican or a Haitian or a Nigerian or a Kenyan staff of lawyers that go out and do this. They don't build anything when they come here, but yet they think we're not owed reparations because of what our ancestors built, or my ancestors, because I'm a freedman, what my ancestors built didn't make for a prosperous America for them to want to come to. That really pissed me off. It really did. But see, what I want to happen is I want all them federal programs to be shut down. I don't want, if you don't think that we're owed reparations, I don't want you getting anything from the government, because we don't get anything from the government, but we put into it. So, wrapping this up, I'm happy Trump won. No, I'm happy Kamala lost. I'm not happy that Trump won. I'm not running around here, Trump for America, Trump. No. But my thing is, there's a lot of people worried about what's going to happen with him, with this Project 2025 and him being a dictator and all that. I don't care. I truly do not care. We as black people are already at the bottom. So we're staying at the bottom. And if other people are going to be dragged down with us, so be it. I don't care, dog. I really do not care that other ethnicities are worried about what Donald Trump is going to do. Now, we're totally delineating. And that means if you're not a foundational black American, we're not rocking with you. But we're also not rocking with you if you are a foundational American and you think that voting for the Democratic Party is going to get us anywhere. It hasn't gotten us anywhere. So sit home or start to run our own candidates.